for tuning into another episode of From Hometown to Higher Grounds. I'm your host, Takais Hall. Today, I'm here with my guy, Mr. Daniel Rusiecki. Daniel is one of my teammates from Breast University. Shout out to the guys back there in Owensboro. Um, Daniel's one of the few guys here where, at the beginning when I was going through the process of my podcast ideas and things like that, he was one of the guys I was like, hey man, I would love for you to come by and he'll just give a little insight of himself and his journey right now. Daniel, bro, like I know you're at Western Kentucky right now. I know you're going through the process of getting your master's in filmmaking. I know, and I want to thank you for taking time out for just having to like sit down with me finally after all this time, bro. So I want to thank you for coming on here, bro. Taking time out of your day and just coming over here and giving us a little insight to who you are, man. So thank
Hey,
you for coming, bro.
I appreciate you, man. It's good seeing you, man.
Hey, man. Always good to see good people, bro. So, man, I see you from St. Petersburg, Florida, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about how your background influenced you to get into filmmaking and being a basketball player. Because when I first met you, you was a basketball player, you know. Then once
Yeah,
I started learning that you was a basketball player, you also was into filmmaking. And I was like, when I first met you, you had your first film out
yeah,
already. You know, it was a short film that you've been working on. It was already out, and I was like, I didn't know he was a director too. You know. So
yeah.
tell me, how did being from Florida like that shaped your background in being like a basketball player and a filmmaker?
So originally when I was younger, I used to play football. Like that was my main sport. I always been into reading as a kid, and then I started transitioning to sports, and football was the chosen one. And then in ninth grade, I had a friend come up to me. His name was Antez Smart, and he came up and he was like, "Hey, like we need somebody to come help us with our rec league team. Like we need a big man." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. Like I'll come help out for basketball." Like football season was over, so a good way to stay in shape. And pretty much, like I tell a lot of people, it was like a movie to me. The minute I started, like I grabbed the basketball, like I knew this was a sport I wanted to do. Like that was what I was gonna stick with because football is something I was good at. Like I wasn't no crazy type guy, but like I played wide receiver. I was gonna be a tight end in high school. Like it was all good. Like everything, the building blocks was there for me to like choose football to be like the sport I wanted to stick with. And from the minute I started playing basketball, I knew that was a sport. Like that was like one of my first loves of like for anything, that and filmmaking. And I tell a lot of people I didn't really start playing until like 10th grade. That's when I had actually made the JV team and I actually developed my skill set to be something where I could be like, okay, yeah, I'm a basketball player. This is that. I'm not bad at this. I'm good enough to play at a higher level. And then at that same time, when the 11th grade hit right before COVID, I was taking this film class. And in that class, I remember the teacher's name was Karen Hadidi. And like Miss Hadidi was the GOAT. Like she had came from my middle school, also came to the same high school. And in that class, it was just pretty much watching movies. We watch movies, talk about why this person did that, why they do this. And that's when I had realized I was like, wait, I've always loved movies. I've always loved stories. Like I could do this as a job. Like this could be like an actual job for me. And originally, I wanted to be a heart surgeon. I have my mom has heart problems, and my older brother passed away due to heart problems. So I was like, yeah, like I want to go into the medical field, heart surgery, try to figure out like how to help people with these problems. And then I remember when I went to that film class and I took that, I was like, this is going to be like a hard thing to tell my family, like, hey, this is not what I want to do anymore. I don't want to do like medical. I want to move into filmmaking. And they were very supportive about it. Like I've always had a supporting system for filmmaking, for basketball. It's just the only part for basketball that they lacked was just the knowledge of basketball. From like I had a mom who did track in high school. My dad was into soccer. He's European, so it was never really his thing to be like, oh yeah, I can teach you how to handle the rock. You know what I'm saying? Or like shoot a ball. So a lot of things was just me having to self teach myself. Like I would spend hours and hours on YouTube. I would either go to like our local park or I'd go to the YMCA eventually and I'd be there, me and my friend Tom, who literally like that's like a brother to me. Like that's like my brother from another mother. We would go to the YMCA during the summer from 8 a.m. to about 5 p.m. We'd just be there all day, whether it's hooping, whether it's lifting, working out on the field, just there. Cause it's like, we didn't have a car then either in like ninth grade. So it's like you gotta get dropped off and whenever your mom or dad get off work, they gotta come pick you up. So I'm like, hey, but we wanted it that bad. We wanted to get better. And he played football and it was just, hey, we gonna go here, stay here as long as possible and walk over to Checkers and get like $1 hot dog.
The Checkers hot dog is OD, bro.
It's crazy, but he's gonna do it every time.
Man, Hey man, I thought about when you were saying like how you played football to growing up, and it's like me. I always play football. I played football one time, and that really was just like me just wanted to follow my friends because like my friends is always getting into like different sports like baseball, football, basketball, and like me myself, I didn't really come from much of a great background as well. I'm the only child, so like me, I always want I see my friends, they're doing things, they want to get into different sports. I want to do and dabble too, because basketball was always like my first love as well. That was my first love. I like even playing on the streets, playing with the adults, like the grown guys, like the big guys. You know what I'm saying? They hit you and be like,
Yeah,
they look at you until you get up.
yeah,
Like you don't,
get
you
your ass
like
up.
you all
Yeah,
right. And that's one thing that and like I said, going back to the football story, but I ended up following them and we was the Cowboys. Like guys back in
mm,
Grenada, which they know like it's the Grenada Cowboys.
yeah,
And
yeah.
growing up, and I ended up playing with them, and we ended up playing against like a rival team. And it was the coach who looked at me. Think, mind you, I never played a down football a day in my life. I don't even recreation. Like I played on the street. We played street football, in the backyard.
Two hand
And man,
touch.
two hand touch, like pick them up, light them up. You know that. So we
Oh yeah,
play
for
stuff
sure.
like that. We get the adults come out there, throw the ball to us, we line up. So in this game here, I ended up matching up, getting on the line. I've never known how to like line up, like get down or whatever. I'm on the line. Man, they hike that ball. I see the quarterback, bro. I'm like, yeah, this I'm gonna hit him. Smack.
Mm-hmm.
All I see is my helmet go that way. My helmet went that way, and I hit the ground. I said, yeah,
The same for me.
yeah, this ain't for me right here. You know what I'm
I ain't
saying?
gonna
Because
quick to.
I was like, yeah. I'm like, I just seen him. I just seen. I was like, yeah, he right there. Oh yeah, that way. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
I
Football is one sports boy where it's like my mom, like, she because like we had never really did sports like that. So like younger, when I get into sports, he gonna get into the sports. So we looking at it from like now you got me and like close to high school age, like late middle school, and you got him like the young ones. And like when I tell you, I'm over here like shit, he actually don't mind getting hit. He don't mind it. Me, I'm not trying to get hit. Like don't hit me. Because you see somebody lay somebody out, put a pancake on them. Nah, I can't
And
take that.
that was always like my biggest fear, bro. Like me, because I always been like a little bit shunned about like the helmet. It's like me, I be like, how can you guys see? And some
Uh
people they
huh.
be like, hey, like it'll start like it'll be attached to you, like you'll be able to see like if the helmet won't even know you, you won't think about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, me, like I want to see what's coming. Like that's really
Exactly.
I love basketball. I want to see what's coming. I want to know, okay, like, I can't be looking one way, then like
And then
I'm getting
something
hit.
just
Yeah, like I can't get hit by no car, man. These kids
nah.
big, bro. Like I wasn't as strong as I was. Like like
Me
these kids
not.
big. I take my leg out, one good lick. I can't breathe. Help me that way. Shoulder pad flip. Like
Hey,
somebody come
nah.
adjust me. You know what I'm saying? But man, it just it brought me back to a memory of my football story,
Mhm.
and it's crazy how like we all have like just a different thing that'll like take us from here to over here. Like I said, I'm the only child myself. It's crazy how like you had like the family like just to help you,
Yeah,
give you
yeah.
like details like what you want to do in your future as well. Just give you just something to do. Like you go over here. Like I don't like that. I want to do this. And because
No,
in the
yeah,
COVID times too, like COVID times is like a good pivotal moment for like everybody. That was a crazy time for everybody to really like sit down to themselves because you really couldn't go
exactly.
anywhere. I think that's a lot of times where a lot of people start figuring out a lot about themselves or what they like, what
Oh
they didn't
yeah, for
like,
sure.
and it's just picking up different like great like I said hobbies, like just great hobbies just like doing and like you yourself you found filmmaking along with like also your love for the game of basketball.
Yeah, and COVID, a lot of people they sound crazy when I say this, but like for me, that was like the height of my like getting physically at that level for basketball because that was my junior year going into senior. So like
Mm-hmm.
at that point, they putting the chains on rims at the park. Everything shut down. You can't go work out. So I went to my friend who had a hoop. He just happened to have one because Tom, my friend Tom, he got like three brothers, like two sisters. So like it's a big family. So they have a hoop. We went, put it on a pickup truck, brought it over to my house, and we ain't stopped. We ain't let COVID stop us from work. I'm like, nah, I gotta work out. Like, and that right there was like, I remember the jump I took from working out like that. It was no other choice. I'm working out. I'm watching movies all day, and then I'm staying up all night watching movies, and I'm going out for like 4 hours, and doing ladder drills. I'm doing practicing like my jumping drills. We didn't even have no weights, so I remember my granddad had like these cinder blocks. So I just took a broomstick, put the cinder blocks on them, and was hitting the bench press like I'm doing prison
Oh,
workouts. Hey, there were some strong ones, boy, but like,
man,
because
what?
I had to do what I had to do because like I ain't have enough money to go buy no dumbbell racks, and I ain't buying like no 10 pound dumbbell. Like, we strong. We wasn't that strong back then, but we ain't doing no 10. Like, I need some real weight. So I'm like, all right, this is the best I'm gonna do. Like, we're gonna have to furl the cinder block. We're gonna have to press the cinder block, do push ups and everything. And I remember after COVID, when I went into like when school finally did open up for senior year, my senior season didn't really go how I wanted it to go. But those first 3 games of like preseason into the first game of our regular season, me personally, I would, you would, I would, if I had been in the crowd, I would have been thinking that's the best nigga in St. Pete because I can't, because I was one of those guys in 10th grade. I wasn't bad. Like that was my first, actually had, finally started playing basketball, like I said. And it was between me and this other guy named Andre who was going to get moved up to varsity at the end of the year. Well, Andre was a
Mhm.
football player who was like 6'5", 270 pounds. So it was kind of a clear cut choice on who they probably was going to take out of me and him. They just needed someone bigger. And it worked out. In the 11th grade year, still was getting used to like now, okay, now you're playing varsity. This is a different speed from JV. This is, and the work ethic it takes is a little bit more. And I never mind having to work harder, but it was like every single time I get my opportunity, I would either not do enough with it or just do the bare minimum. Like really, I might get the chance to start, and it's like in myself, I'm over here like, all right, I'm starting. Like, okay, I really gotta come out here and like have 15, 20 points. And realistically, when you start to learn more about basketball, you're like, 5 guys can't have 20 points. The starting five,
Mm.
they all can't have 20. Like the rock guy move, but I'm playing with
But
these
you
other guys who
16
are all
Golden State
seniors.
Warriors.
It's pretty much exactly. Unless you got KD, Clay, and stuff like, and it was just a learning curve. But like I was never that guy who was supposed to be like, oh, he gonna give you like 15 or he gonna give you 20. My first 2 preseason games, we did lose, so I definitely, and my number one thing is to win. Like I want to win. But the first 2 preseason games, to put in the context of it, my other brother Kari, my good friend of mine, he had transferred, and he was someone who was like that guy who's going to be 20. He had transferred that year going into our senior year to a private school. So the main guy who we have is gone. So it's like, all right, now who's going to take over? Who's going to pick up that scoring load? And like me, I'm like, this is really my chance now. Like there is no like, oh, it might be your chance. I was like, this is 100% the time for me to show like all the hard work that I've done has led up to here, especially
Yeah.
during COVID. That's why I went so hard during COVID. And I remember the first 2 games of the preseason, I had my first game, I had 25, and it was like, I'm still over here like, damn, I had 25, and like, I'm doing this. It was off of the straight layups. Like, this is no jump shots or nothing. So I'm over here like, damn, like, I'm not even really using my full bag to my best ability. Like, I'm just coming out here at the small forward position. I'm not even controlling how many times I get the ball because I'm not the guard. So I'm relying on someone else. And first game, you come out with 25. Second game, we come out, I had 23, and I'm like, this is like it gave me that boost of confidence I needed because I'm over here like we talk about we need somebody to win. Like we just lost a person who was a 20-point game scorer. I'm coming in right now, first 3 games of the season, giving you 20, and you can't tell me nothing. Like I still stay humble. It wasn't like no,
Yeah.
like you can't tell me that, but like it was such a good experience to have that type of success so early on in the season when you're like all this hard work I put in, where you have people who are like he ain't that good, like well no
Mm.
he ain't, and it's like you can't say nothing now, like to kind of like silence people. And this gave me that type of boost that I needed to like show that like, okay, hard work does matter. Like it doesn't go unnoticed all the
Definitely.
time.
Definitely, it definitely come out when you least expect it, and
Mm-hmm.
like when you in the midst of working out like you was like during COVID time, because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
even myself, like I was outside running up and down the road, and people
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm not doing that, I'm just sitting
Yeah,
around. And
yeah.
a lot of people like physiques changed a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, I was like, I can't do that. I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
I had to challenge myself, and I couldn't, and then that definitely allowed me it made a lot of things easy for me once
Mm-hmm.
everything started getting back into rotation. Everybody started like get back into like a schedule. Like they started opening up gyms. I started opening up programs back again. Like you said, like that allows you to come in there and be like, bet
It's
this
like
is easy.
I've already been on it. Yeah, y'all trying to get back
Like
on it. We've
like
been
when
good.
you was working when everybody else was just sitting around, just looking around, you know.
Exactly, exactly.
So definitely, man. Like I'm glad. I'm proud of how you just like you used that opportunity. That was a great opportunity to take advantage of, and you did
Nah,
it.
yeah,
Now you took advantage of that, and it allowed you to like open your eyes. Like opened
Yeah,
everybody's eyes to you. And as like, going into that moment, it's like, all right, like I got something to prove and I'm proving myself, and also I'm prove myself and to show you guys like I am who
100,
I say I am. Like, I'm gonna be who you guys need. And
100%.
then more. Definitely, man. Let's talk about your filmmaking some more, man. Like, so
Yeah,
you have two films out. You have the
yes, sir.
first one, Check Up. That was a short film that you did in Owensboro.
Yes,
And
sir.
then you have Tender in the Flesh. There's the new one you just dropped soon, right? You just
Yes, sir.
dropped
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
How was that? Like, how was creating those short films? Like, what was that process like for you, bro? Like, you've been an athlete at the same time. How did you manage to do manage the athletic life and then
Yeah.
also being a film director? Like, how did you manage to make those like that?
So Checkup, which was my first one, that one, I would say, in terms of like, in terms of the production, like making it, it was 5 people that helped me make it. It was like a 5-person crew, which for that long of a short, it's like 22 minutes long. You're not supposed to do that type of stuff. Like that's something that like people will be like, why do you have 5 people doing that? Like you need at least 10. You need this much time.
Right.
But I didn't know no better.
Hmm.
Like it was my first time making one. I was like, hey, I'm gonna do it, and we're gonna get it done one way or another. Like, and
Right.
we did. But that one was probably one of the easiest ones because it came from such like an authentic place. Like I'm still playing basketball. The film itself is about two brothers, one who's from a different generation, and then who's an older generation in particular, and then one from younger, where it really reflects how me and my brother are. Like I'm
Mm.
someone who not having that same support system of like the knowledge for basketball, I had to do all by myself. He has me as a support system to like, okay, this is how you're gonna work out. This is what you need to work on. They cut the lights out on me, boy. Ain't pay a bill, nah. um, but like I didn't have that support system that he had, which is not even a
Mm.
bad thing. He's at this age that he's at right now. He's going into his senior year. He's light years ahead of me. Like they just
Mm.
had a game last week against this school, and he had 16, and he just, which is a good thing, because like he just transferred to this new high school because this old high school was not giving him the type of the type of leeway that he needed to be. As a senior, when you put in
Right.
so much into a team, senior year is make or break. You ain't got no choice but to show out, like show up or show out. So,
Right.
and this school that he's going to, which we have like the coach is like a family friend of ours that we knew just when we were younger. It kind of all worked out. It's like a full circle moment, and it's been working out good for him. But he's from that type of system and generation where a lot of people would say this younger generation is they want everything handed to them. They don't want to have to work hard to do stuff. Like
Right.
they want to cry about stuff. They cry, and it was really just the film was looking at how toxic masculinity can be and how we over here we have to work for a lot of stuff, especially if you're coming from no siblings. It's hard to not have a system where maybe you trying to figure out, okay, what is my thing, what do I want to do, and you got friends like maybe they did do football, all right, I'm gonna go hop out with them, and then you got, okay, I'm gonna go do basketball, I'm gonna go do this. For me, that's how it was too. Like I'm like, all right, I'm trying to be around everybody. I'm trying to do something so I can at least have that type of experience that other people might have with like an older brother or like a father figure who's into the same things as them. So
Definitely.
that film for me, balancing it with being an athlete, it was so easy just because like in terms of it only took like 2-3 days to film, so we still would go work out, but it was like it made me look deeper at like how I should be working out by myself, and even when I'm
Hmm.
working out with my little brother, because like me and him, boy, we had some fights. I'm talking about like throwing hands type fights over these workouts, because like I expect so much from him, and
Right.
when it's like I can see him being so good. I can see him being so much way better than what he probably thinks he can be. So it's like you sitting over here saying like you can't go no further, or you definitely can. Like you can push
Mm.
yourself further because you have to. There's no choice but to. Like there is no like you can do it the next day or something like that. Like it's
Yeah.
make or break now, because while how people say like like when you sleep and someone else is working, it's the
It's
same exact
working.
thing. Exactly. You gonna put up 5 shots. There's another guy putting up 20. So we gotta be better than that guy, and we gotta be better than the guy who's better than him. So that's
Right.
what that film helped me look at, just in terms of not always trying to be. There's difference between being an ass and just being hard. And like outside of us being brothers, I have to also look at it like, all right, he's still younger. I can't be over here, me and him getting this deep over a drill when it's like, all right, tough love it can be too tough sometimes if you just trying to look at it from
Yes.
like, all right, like, and that right there definitely like opened up my eyes making that film. It was more of like a therapeutic thing. Like making it was really like therapy.
Right. And how did you, and with you being a basketball player yourself when this happened, did this like, was it like, did the scheduling have a conflict, anything? Or you like, man, I got like practice in a way of this? Like how was
So
that? Like, what you?
the good thing was, so we filmed it during the summer, so it kind of like we didn't have to worry about like no games
Oh,
for us necessarily. So that was one of the good parts. But in terms of workouts, for those 2 days, what we did, because when we filmed those 2 days, pretty much when you shoot like a film, you're shooting for like 12 hours. So for those 12 hours, like we were filming, like I think the first day we woke up at like 7 a.m. and then all the way to like 7 p.m. So we didn't get to work out for those 2 days. But what I told my brother was, for like I think we filmed on a Friday and a Saturday. So what we did was Monday through Thursday, we just did like pretty much 3 workouts a day. We went way harder than what we should did in terms, so we can make up for it on those 2 days. And I think on the
definitely.
last day, um, I pretty much I think on the last day, a Saturday, like that night when we finished, like me and him went to like the gym to go get some shots up or we lifted. So like we still made sure 'cause I was like, well, it's 11 o'clock. We can go ahead Planet Fitness up or something like that, or like go to this 24-hour gym and just go work out. And then
Hmm.
even then, if we not working out at the gym, we doing some type of thing at home, like whether it's me doing something or like band jumps and I'm holding him down, or we doing push ups, like we doing some form of like we're gonna go run a mile or something. We ain't never gonna just not do anything.
Not
And I
do
always
something.
told him if you can't, and to any person I think who's an athlete, if you can't work out, like everybody's maybe you don't got to ride to the gym, or maybe you don't have like the gear at home. I mean, you can do
Right.
push-ups obviously, but I always say at least if you ain't gonna work out, go watch film. If you can't physically do something, that's the easiest thing you do. If you can scroll on TikTok for 10 minutes, you can go watch a 10-minute breakdown or
Definitely.
on anything. So that's why I always tell him, I'm like, if you say you can't
Cooking.
work out, you better get on your phone. It's simple. Like go watch
Like
some
you're already
clips.
on there, might as well like go ahead and do something that's going to help yourself rather than just waste your time and
Exactly.
hurt you. You know,
Exactly.
you definitely gave him some game with that, man.
No, yeah. I'm excited to see what he do because it's definitely like he finally started to get his bounce to come in now. Like he was sending me some videos of him dunking the other day, and I'm like, all right, finally, like we finally got that coming in. Like, all right, let's see what we can do. But I think it's gonna be a good season for him. I know, like I told, because just from a perspective, I wasn't even like highly recruited, obviously, especially with
Hmm.
when I was in high school. So I was the only one on my high school roster from that year, the 2021 year, to get a college offer to play basketball, which was a crazy thing just because you're looking at it from like, I'm like, everybody still acting like I'm not the best person or something like that, or I'm not as good as this guy. And pride, ego, like, it's definitely like, if I'm another man, I ain't gonna let you say you better than me, unless I really am
Right.
better than you. We can just lace up and do 1-on-1 or whatever. But I've
Yeah.
always I've always been like, I've never been that type of person where it's like, all right, I gotta prove myself better than that person because like I need it for my ego. If anything, I need it because I want to win the game. If the one guy has to have
Definitely.
more, like it's not about, oh, I gotta prove I'm a better man than you because I'm better in basketball. It ain't got nothing to do with
I'm
that.
just not.
Like
I'm just not gonna lay down and let you just beat me though. Like that's
exactly,
just.
exactly.
And that's definitely how it is. Like, and back home, like me playing high school basketball and be going into like my college career, it took me a long time to get
Hmm.
to playing on the college level. Like, it took like I was on a journey where it took me dang near 5 years to play college basketball, and I graduated in 2019. And for
Hmm.
me myself, coming out of high school, I wasn't highly recruited anywhere.
Hmm.
I didn't. I had like an offer, and it was pulled from myself because, I guess the inconsistency, like I'm not really sure how things like that work, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure like it's self-explanatory. Like if they pulled it out, I probably wasn't in their light. But me coming out of high school, I didn't really get highly recruited either. And and it was just crazy to hear that you're from Florida,
Yeah.
in that St. Petersburg area, and I'm from Grenada, Mississippi, where I'm in the region where I'm around community colleges, and we had a great team that year. I was doing my thing. So and shout out to and the other guys do shout out to them too. We had a dominant team that year, but like it was just unfortunate that none of us really got an offer to go and
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
anywhere. And then like on my journey, it like I said, it took me a long time to get there, and that's when I met you because it took me like I went through when I graduated high school, and me, I had this thing in my mind where like I could play on any level
Yeah. For sure.
regardless of where in reality we're like, okay, like this guy's here, he's a JUCO guy, he's a D3,
Yeah.
D2.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like, back then it's like, hey, my mindset, I'm like, I want to play D1 basketball.
Not for
That's
sure.
everybody's dream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back then it's like, hey, I want to play D1. I want to go somewhere else. Like I want to get on that level. So I want to get on the biggest stage. I want to get on that March Madness stage. I want to be here. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I know where I am. It's like I have enough to get me to where I want to be. And then when I get there, when I get up to the team, I know I'm going to get that development I need. If I need to get stronger, I know there's a weight program there. If I need to get it faster, I know there's a heavy weight, a weighted, like a training
No.
program that
Yeah.
that's going to get me to where I need to be. I just need to get there, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
me, like I said, it took me so long, and I ended up going to Mississippi State before I met you at Breast University,
Mm-hmm.
because in Mississippi State, I was like, hey, like I went to a high school camp there, and I
Yeah.
wanted to, hey, like, I can see myself planning. It was like a vision, because everything is a vision. Like, you have to give yourself like a outlook of like, okay, like, you can see yourself
Yeah.
going there, go there. Like,
Yeah.
do it. Like, don't just talk about it, be about it. Like,
For
if you
sure.
feel like you can do that, chase it. And it was always a dream to me, like, go chase that, get out there. No matter how hard it can be, how difficult it can be. And it just allowed, on that long, that road, it just allowed me to just really open my eyes to myself. I got better. I got faster. I got stronger eventually. My shots got fluent.
Mm-hmm.
Me, my ball handling got a little better. I got smarter because during that process, like, it wasn't easy. I started learning, okay, outside of basketball, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
And then going through that process, I didn't play. And I started getting into, because like they didn't have, COVID started happening. They didn't do
Yeah.
tryouts, so that years is prolonged and like that. And it's very political. Like,
Oh
Division One
yeah.
level is like, if you're not highly ranked, bro, let's get
Yeah.
to
You
it.
might as
Let's
well
let's
fix
let's,
it.
let's
Yeah.
cut that out. You know what I'm saying? If it's not somebody you know on that roster, and if even if it is somebody you know, if you still ain't highly top ranked, let's still look. Hey,
Yeah.
let's be real. So me, along that process, like me, I just started just getting a lot of runs. I started going to pickup ball. I
Yeah.
started going to, just lifting weights on my own, start running on my own. And I just got faster. I got stronger, like I said. And then like I started getting into like travel ball, where travel ball allowed me to like use it as a platform to, create film for myself and
Mm-hmm.
get myself out there. And like I said, like using that allowed me to get opportunity, because like I be wanting to tell, and this is part of my platform here. It's like I want to show, like, tell guys
Yeah.
about my journey as well, like how, no matter where you come from, you can eventually, you're going to get to where you want to be, even if it
Mm-hmm.
takes a minute. Just do not quit on it, because your dream, it's a dream. It's your dream. Nobody can take it from you. And I want them to like understand, like, hey, like, this is what you want to do, kill it,
Yeah.
go after it, and you're going to get there. If you believe it with your heart and have faith, the Lord is going to pave that way for you. You got it. You know what I mean? And look at me. I got the opportunity to travel the world. I got the opportunity to play on a college level team. I met you. I met my other fellow teammates. One became best friends. Like I didn't finally got a chance to experience that, because I didn't give up on that. And look, I told you, look how long it was. It took me like almost 5 to 6, like 6 years. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh yeah.
for me to still have that as a dream, and I still let that die me out, let die out of my heart, it allowed me to. It just, hey, it can be done.
No, 1,000. Because I love you bring up, like, you say it's your dream. Don't let no one take it from you. Like, I remember I had pretty much two options. Like, it was, go at Brusher for basketball, which was like my main one. It was like, okay, like I like them. Like the money was gonna be good for me to get taken care of for like the first couple of years. Like it was the right situation. And then my school had this program where, like, depending on who was nominated by the county, they would nominate one male student who they think could pretty much go to USF, which is like, University of South Florida, for this program for you to be like male teachers. They wanted like more male teachers, and it was fully paid. You get a stipend, everything. And I was nominated for it, so I was like, okay, well, do I go to school for free at USF and like not play basketball, or do I take this chance and like do something I've always wanted to do, even if it's just it could lead to whatever type of, I don't know what it's gonna lead to. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what's
Right.
gonna happen when we decide something. And I remember, like, I was pretty set on playing basketball. I was like, I'm gonna do that. I was like, I don't even want to be a teacher. Like just and it wasn't really about the teaching part. It was just that wasn't my dream. I would have hated it for 4 years. And when I committed to something, I want to do it with all the passion I have. And I remember
Definitely.
it came down to a point where here's where I really told myself, okay, nah, I definitely ain't gonna play. The principal of the school, his name was Mr. Vigu. He had called me in, and me and were talking. And he was a cool guy at that point up until this conversation. We were talking, and he says, like, let me ask you a question. How many people do you think like ever actually played college basketball? And I was like, I know it's not, like, I'm not stupid. Like I had did all my research. I'm like, I know it's not a lot, but I said, like, he was like, "Well, do you think you're gonna go D1 with this?" And I was like, "I don't know." Like I said, "Hey, like I could end up doing something, and maybe I might end up staying there all 4 years." I said, "Like it's just a matter of how much, whatever happens, wherever God wants it to happen." And it came down to, he pretty much, the conversation went on, and he was pretty much saying, "You're stupid if you decide to go do college basketball instead of going to the school that's fully paid for to be a teacher." And I was like, "That's all you need to say. I already know what I'm doing then." Like, because I'm not gonna let someone tell me what I need to do
Right.
in terms, like, for what, especially from I feel like a lot of people forget that when you're 18 years old, you're still in high school, depending on how your birthday is. I'm
Definitely.
like, you like a 50-year-old guy talking to like, how the teachers love saying the future generation, the future leaders, the future this.
Right.
So you're trying to discourage me from doing something that like is set that this is what's in my heart. Nah, I can't
Man.
I can't rock with that. Like my vision is my vision. That's what God gave me. If you I'm not gonna listen to somebody who's principal trying to say like you known me for 4 years. You haven't known me long enough to even tell me like this is what you need to do
Right.
and then you saying stupid? Nah. Nah, I can't go for that.
And the biggest thing that's come from this that I would like to tell like my audience here, do not let anyone dictate your journey.
A
What's
thousand.
for you is for you. If you believe in your heart and God will deliver you to where you need to be. Do not let anyone dictate your life,
Mhm.
your journey. It's your journey, it's your path. If you think that's what you want to do, and that's what you believe in your heart that you want to do, go after that.
And you can't do
Thousand
nothing
percent.
wrong when you follow your heart. Like it's
Definitely.
impossible. It's impossible because as long as you
It's
happy, you happy.
It's all you. You can't go wrong. Like you're gonna go down doing what you wanted to do. You're not doing
Exactly.
what somebody else wanted you to do. It's your journey. It's your life.
Hmm.
And if it works out, that means you bought into it. If it don't,
Exactly.
you gotta look at yourself and be like, what did I do wrong? And how can I fix it? And how can I adjust? It doesn't say quit. But how can you adjust? And how can you just reassess the situation? You know,
Like people say, like there's no losses or failures. It's just lessons. You learn from everything. Like
everything
if
is a
that didn't
lesson.
work, we're gonna keep moving forward and we're gonna figure out how to do it better next time. Like and it goes for every part of life. It goes from sports, filmmaking, doing a podcast, just being a better person in general. Like we all
Definitely.
we all ain't perfect. It's like when people sit here and it's like, man, not me. I know I'm perfect. You got so much to learn. you got too much to learn.
Man, you haven't seen nothing yet, man.
You ain't seen nothing.
So, man, have there ever been a moment where like you felt torn between filmmaking and basketball, and if so, how did you manage to get through that, and was it hard, and how hard was it? You know.
Mhm. So I think it was my freshman year at Brescia, and I was like I only been there for like a year, and it was going into sophomore year, and like I knew that I kind of had like imposter syndrome, but not even like at being at a film school. I was like, okay, well, I see all these people on TikTok. I see like all these other young directors, like they're getting their movies out into theaters, which it's already a hard thing as it is. But I'm like, damn, like, am I really behind? Like, yeah, I'm only like 19 years old, and these other guys, young in filmmaking, can be like 30 years old. Like most of the time, it's not a
Mm.
19-year-old who's winning an Oscar. But like, I'm over here like, dang, like I'm doing basketball, but do I really? I had to be real with myself and say, do I really see basketball as something where it's like not even about like an NBA or a professional breaker? Like, is it that or like, or is it go to the NBA or is something else type of mindset? It was just a matter of like, do I still have the willpower and the mental power to put just as much as I want into this as I would anything else that I love? And I sat here and I said, yeah, I do. Like I said, at the end of the day, basketball, it's a sport that at any moment it can be taken away from you. I mean, anything, life can be taken away, but like basketball, if you get injured, you could be done you could be done, and it's just as simple as that. So I was like, okay, well, God's giving me still good health. I'm still in good shape. I still have the opportunity. I'm around good people who I actually care about. These good teammates. I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm just gonna let whatever happens happens. I'm gonna be here for 3 more years, and I'm gonna stick with basketball. And there's no reason why I still can't try to pursue filmmaking. And I think, in my eyes, that was one of the best case scenarios because 2 years later, with the senior year, I ended up making my first film checkup. I just got done
Mm.
making my second film, and it was like I didn't have to give up basketball to even do that. It was just a matter about figuring out what my priorities were at that moment.
Definitely, man. Nah, that's what's up, bro. Nah, I'm glad you got a chance to just go
Yeah,
through that
yeah,
and
yeah.
like really just figure it. Man, that's that beauty, bro. That's that beauty,
Nah, for
man. And
real.
it's and I think we all have that moment where we start questioning stuff because I feel like I be going through it sometimes too. Where I have to like not overthink myself, like I'm where I'm supposed to be, you know.
Nah, yeah,
And everything's gonna work out the way it's supposed to be. Just stay locked in. Just stay on that course, you know.
1,000%.
So with you being an athlete as well, when you started your filmmaking, did you bring anything from like being a basketball player into like filmmaking? Because like remember you said how like when you was like working at the beginning of your back like going into filmmaking and you was also working out, you had that disciplinary like about yourself like to be like, all right, I need to like I need to be dedicated to this same one, I'm dedicated to that. I need to make sure my body this so I can do this right here. Like, did you bring anything from basketball into filmmaking?
Yeah, for sure. I remember I had a conversation with Dr. Bossi, who he was one of the professors for English at Brusha, and in my paper, like I had this essay that I had sent to WKU and I was getting ready to apply. And I had said like a sentence where I was like, I view my filmmaking the same way as I do basketball. Like I need to be trying to be better than the next person. And it was supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, like jealous of the next person because I got to be better. It was like, I want that same intensity. The same way they tell us in basketball, you need to be trying to be better than the next person. It's you gotta sit here and you gotta put in hours and hours and you gotta dedicate your time. You gotta sacrifice things. You're gonna sacrifice friendships depending on the situation, the people who aren't good for you, not the good friendships, but you know the ones who they want to go out here and party 24/7 when you really need to stay in and get your homework done. You need to go to the gym and get shots up. And that's what I brought to my filmmaking. I sat here and I was like, okay, if I can't sit here and actually do the art of filming right here at Berkeley, maybe I don't have the resources. The one thing I can do is sit here and put hours worth of studying film, the same way I would study basketball tapes. If I'm gonna go watch an hour long basketball game and try to break it down and take notes over it, I'm gonna go do the same thing for a movie. If I'm gonna sit
Right.
here and I'm gonna go out here and try to practice getting shots up, I take my smartphone, my iPhone, and I go outside and see, okay, what can I film? What type of exercises are there for you to practice filmmaking from my iPhone? And it was just a matter of, okay, now that I'm at grad school, how can I apply that same mindset? And it's about, all right, I see like my cohort like a team. We all in the same boat. We all want the same thing to graduate and to hopefully make it farther with our type of art. Maybe it's writing a movie, writing a book, writing a poem. And that's how I looked at it. Like I was like, basketball is a sport where realistically you're gonna make some friendships and you're gonna have, we all got them teammates really, man, like cool day as a teammate. But you have people, perfect example with me and you, like me, you and Rory, like especially like now we're on this podcast with each other. It goes deeper than basketball. It goes deeper than just, oh,
Mm-hmm.
he's a teammate. Like that's someone where it's like, nah, that's someone I consider as a high friend, a brother. Like he's someone you call me right now and say, hey, bro, I need you. I'm right there if you need me. And that's how I
Absolutely.
look at it with everything. You know what I'm saying? Like it, because you got some teammates where it's like, all right, like you cool, but I don't I don't really want to hang with you like that, bro.
Yeah,
Like
it's no, it's like it's a boundary. It's like a boundary. It's a level,
exactly,
you know. Mm-hmm.
and it comes down to I think for me when I'm looking at someone who I want as it comes back on. There you go. When I'm looking at someone who I want as like a friend, you can't pick your teammates. You got your teammates. First thing you can tell is like outside of like how you instantly connect with someone, it's just how someone carries themselves. You
Right.
always carried yourself in a great way. You never had your head down low. You never was over here blaming other people for what was going on with you. That's the type of person you want. I want to be around someone who makes me want to be a better man, who also wants to be just as good as the next person. And that's how I've always just looked at anything in life.
I appreciate that. And
No, yeah,
it
for
was
sure.
always like the idea of like somebody's always watching you and it's what you bring
Hmm.
to the table. Like somebody else is wanna they're looking for that. Like what
Yeah,
everybody don't have, you can bring with like you can bring that to the table and it can bring the whole like make
yeah,
the whole dynamic just keep the dice rolling, like the wheel going, you know? Because like it's like if what they don't have, you have it.
yeah.
And it just like a mission puzzle piece, bro. Like you connect that, everything gets to flowing. And that's why I was very like blessed to have met you guys. And
No,
just
yeah,
I
for
see you
sure.
guys have the same work ethic. You guys get in the weight room. You guys get in the gym. You guys go to class. You guys are very attentive to you guys on like the on and off the court behavior that matters because that's
Yeah,
saying why I carry myself. I can put myself in that category. But okay, like I'm not afraid or ashamed to be caught with these guys. Or if I
yeah, yeah,
know if I'm around in a bad space, like I know like ain't nobody gonna be like, all right, you know, like it's them, you know, like no, it's like it's just it was a very blessing, like an honor to be around you guys and meet you guys and like really just continues to grow because like you guys did shape my viewpoint of Owensboro
hmm.
and Brush University itself. So I appreciate you guys
No, of course, of
and
course.
definitely man. So I know you was like very surprised when you heard this. You know, when we was in Owensboro and you like you said you've been a film director, like want to be a film director and things like that.
Yeah,
And when you find out Johnny Depp was from Owensboro. Like, hey, I didn't know this. I didn't know this either. But when I
yeah.
first heard this, I was in Canes. I was in
No,
Canes,
yeah,
and they was like, you remember the big old portrait that was on the wall? And then they got so many like portraits of him on like what they call
yeah.
murals, like on
They
the
had
side of
young
the like
murals. Yeah,
buildings. Yeah, because they had one by your coffee spot over there, and I was
yeah,
like, bro,
yeah,
like, I wonder has Daniel ever like see like okay, like Johnny Depp was from here, and like me just you seeing where like this little town can still like because I'm not
Yeah,
sure if he really like lived through Owensboro for a very
yeah,
long
yeah.
time when he started picking up his acting career. But it's like for you yourself, it's like if he made it from this
Oh
spot,
yeah.
I can use some resources here the same way he did. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like
You
a flex there. I'm like, man, I came from I started my stuff in Owensboro, not only just Florida, but also in Owensboro, Kentucky. Like
no,
like
yeah, for
nobody, I
sure.
didn't even know that was the real place. You know what I'm saying?
To be honest, like when I saw that Johnny Depp was from there, because Johnny Depp is one of the actors I do like a lot. He has like this gangster film with Al Pacino called Donnie Brasco, and like that film is like he's great in it, and he's in like Nightmare on Elm Street and one of his first like career roles, and it was like
Crazy.
when they said he was from Owensboro, I'm like Johnny Depp. You talking about like the real Johnny Depp, not somebody else.
Look,
Because I'm like
like Pirates of the Caribbean, or like Johnny Depp, you know?
I was saying, I'm like that Johnny Depp. He from here, and they're like, yeah. I'm like,
like you,
yeah.
like
he,
yeah, like I was like, hold on, bro. And I remember like getting my phone, like Owensboro. I was like,
he's crazy.
I didn't even know this place existed. Like,
Exactly. I'm
like,
like, well, Johnny Depp ain't put you on the map because I didn't know about this place. I'm like, I know Johnny Depp. I don't know Owensboro.
Brian, what? I've never heard a lick of that place before, bro. I didn't even know Bristol was a real school. I thought it was like I thought it was like one of those like fake school
Yeah,
things,
you
like
get
reaching out
scammed
to
on,
people. Yeah, I thought it was
bro.
one of those situations,
It,
bro.
send us a $200 application fee and we'll get back to you. Like, nah.
I ain't gonna never hear from these people again, bro.
And it's crazy because this is like just a side note. I didn't know I didn't know it growing up, but when I went like my high school, I went to Rusiecki High, and like our biggest person from there was Angela Bassett. And like I'm over here like Angela Bassett, man, she need to come send some money about you or something. Like she from like, and it
You
was
talking about
crazy. I'm
Auntie?
like, and yes, she graduated from my same high school. I'm like, bruh, like it's weird because
Auntie.
St. Pete's such a weird place because like we also got Rod Wave who's from St. Petersburg, Florida, and
Right.
he went to high school at Gibbs High, and like Gibbs High is like 10 minutes down the road from where I live at, and a lot of
Hmm.
people I tell a lot of people that St. Pete is not a place that, sadly, a lot of people are like, oh, tourists, like, yeah, you go to St. Pete Beach, it's fun, it's all happy and all that. St. Pete is the last place anyone should want to live because you got, like, all places, you got two sides of a place. But St. Pete is like, you got your really, really rich people place where everything's safe and you good. It's heaven there. You live in life on the beach. And the rest of it
Right.
is like, it's just a straight up, it's a crime ridden city. Like, we all have a saying in St. Pete that once you get out, like, don't come back because St. Pete is a place where if you get stuck there, you should be there. There's a lot of guys I know who, whether they were good at basketball, good at sports, had talent. There are some guys we know. Me and my bro Tom were talking about it the other day. There are some guys who literally had a D1 football offer, was playing D1 football, for every reason decided to stop, and is now a SoundCloud rapper. And I ain't hating on nobody trying to make a rap. But why are you
Right.
back in St. Pete when you had the keys? Like your dream was to go to the NFL. You were given the keys, and it wasn't because you got injured or like you just decided to go. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's a lot of guys who they just for some reason want to come back to St. Pete. They want to stay there. They want to be stuck in that cycle of like, yeah, you know what, we're gonna go get high today. We're gonna go to the club and then we're gonna wake up and do it again tomorrow. And it's like, my coach used to say, there's a lot of people who are like, coulda, woulda, shouldas. And it's sad when you see that like with people you grew up with. I'm like, bro, you my age, and like I used to be like, damn, they're gonna go far. Like he's gonna do something, and then they back in St. Pete, and you like, all right, bro, come on, you gonna be. And we all know somebody that that's like that, and you'll see the one guy who
Definitely.
was the best person in the city at one point, and then all of a sudden they out here selling crack
They
on the
back
side of
at
the
the
street.
house. Like they back at the
Exactly,
crib. Like what happened?
exactly.
Like
And you like, well,
you
damn,
were the next big thing, bro. Like what
exactly.
happened? And I definitely see a lot of guys like that,
Hmm.
like back home. And I was like, man, like like it's hats off to them. Like if they able to keep themselves
Yeah,
alive for one, because
yeah,
like keep themselves alive and
yeah,
take
yeah,
care of their families. I know that's all that matters at the end of the
for
day.
sure.
It's always some things come to an end. But it's like when you
Mm.
was high, it's like, bro, like, no, that don't come back here. And I think it also just goes with like the support you have, like, because
Yeah,
like where you come from, it's like if people like don't want you to be better, they'll reel you right back in. Like man, like yeah, you
yeah,
can always come back home It
And
always come home and do this, instead of like, hey, like I want more for you than you want for yourself.
exactly.
And I think that's the one thing in the world that like I think like there's some things like certain groups lack, certain people lack,
For sure.
and back in the community, like you need guys or families, you need friends that's gonna be like, no, bro, that's crazy. Don't come back here. Like you got
Yeah.
everything you need. Sometimes you just need that reminder, that reassurance from your loved ones, from your support, from your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, whoever it is, your uncles, like anybody that sees value in you, is to make sure you can see it in yourself as well and push you. And I think that's one thing when that happens, it was because there was a lack of that. And I think that you gotta continue to like install that. Like you can't forget about that. You know what I mean? Like you just can't.
No, for sure.
And I think
And
that's
like
that's the biggest downfall.
that's facts though, because my mom, my mom never once in her life has told me to ever get a job in St. Pete. Like she's never been like after you graduate, come back to St. Pete. I come back to visit for the summer, holidays, and that's it. And even then, like the only reason she in St. Pete is because like my little brother in high school. She said the minute he gone, she moving somewhere else because there's no reason to even want to stay there when it's you going if you stay there for too long, you ain't never gonna leave. And like I told my brother all the time, I'm like I've told him straight up before. I said like if this is what you want to do with basketball or even wherever you want to do, your life is your life. I said if I ever find out that you coming back to St. Pete, I'm gonna come kill you. It's simple. I'm gonna come kill you because
Like,
I'm not gonna have like especially when there are so many people there are people that I know from my high school who have been like killed due to gun violence, whether it's with gangs or just being at the wrong place, the wrong time. And it's like I'd
yeah,
be damned if I see my little brother on Bay News 9 tomorrow morning or something like that because he had to be back in St. Pete because he just couldn't stay away. Like you, yeah, a bullet ain't got a name on it, and there's no reason for you to put yourself in a situation to have your name on that bullet when someone's out here. You dance with my girls, like you know how people have a
yeah,
people
it's
don't need a reason.
crazy. No, if people is crazy, especially when your mind is drifted somewhere else than where it's supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be in the right place. Like it can cause it can backfire on you, anybody,
Not for
and
real.
that's why you just do best of like pouring into your community, pouring into
Yeah,
like your loved ones and whoever, a stranger, like just pouring into them if it's your calling.
at that house.
But definitely, man. So we're gonna talk a little bit about your like your films real quick. So your first film, Check Up, then you got your second one, Tender in the Flesh. That you just
Yeah.
made it. How did that shape? Like, did it? Because I don't know. We just talked about this, but like, how did it shape your vision? Like this, like man, like I want to make so many more now. Like this is easy. Like now I'm
Yeah,
starting to like it click now. Like I'm on the road, man.
yeah.
Like I'm the next big thing. Like I got a whole lot more to go because like these like short films here like open up your eyes to like a whole lot of more ideas. Like yeah, like I got
Oh
now like
yeah.
how you finish this film right here and you be like yeah I can think
Not
we can do this right here. We can do this right here.
it's opened my eyes up so much because with Tender as a Flesh, just like a little bit of background for that one, the production for that one was like 1,000% better than like the checkup one. Like this one, we used a camera that pretty much cost about $10,000. And
She
I had a friend who had the camera, so it worked out. But like all of the equipment was like professional equipment. Like we had a
right.
15-person crew. Like not counting me, we had 15 other people just there to make the film. And we got the two actors. Compared to the first one I did, it was five of us and two actors, and that was it. So like this one, it was like it really was like scary at first. 'Cause I'm like, wow, like I'm actually in charge of like 15 other people, and there's only one person to blame in this. It's gonna be me if something go wrong because I'm the director. Like if I did this,
You got
and
that
it all
pressure.
came exactly. It all came out together great, but like doing that, in the experience was the most funnest thing ever. Because I'm over here like, like this is what I want to do for like the rest of my life. Like be around people who want to do this type of stuff. Like I remember when we finished filming, we did pretty much like a big karaoke like thing at the house. We were filming that at Airbnb, and for like the last 2-3 hours, we just did karaoke songs and then all went out to eat. And it's like that was like such a good experience because you get to meet these people, whether I just met them or I already knew a few of them. You're working together for about 24 hours in total. Like you got 12 hours one day, and the next day you're going for another 12. And it's a film. You're in film. You're always rushing against time. You're always like, you gotta move. You
Yeah.
gotta go to the next thing. So like everybody's under constant pressure. But we're all cracking jokes. We're all doing this thing where we're having fun. We're coming up with random ideas on the fly, saying, "Oh, we should do this. We should do that." And that right there was like, oh yeah, these are the type of people I want to work with again. And like I'm ready to get to the next one. Like I'm so ready to start filming like more films and just eventually to make that like my actual 9 to 5 where like hopefully one day I can
Definitely.
be winning an Oscar or have a big film out that's at theaters for people to go see.
Definitely, man. That's definitely. I like how you said how you guys was able to like, even if you guys was on a tight schedule and you guys
Mhm.
had to move, but you guys was able to like still have fun with it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's like the most memorable thing that you can have and just allow everybody to be like, hey, like we all on the same page. And like
Hmm.
we everybody like it's okay to be like a little bit like locked in, but it's
Yeah,
okay to
yeah.
be a little loose in a way to where you guys can like use that and allow that
Yeah,
to flow. And then you said like then allow everybody to be like, hey, like, let's do this
yeah,
instead. Like,
exactly.
ideas start to bounce off each other instead of being like, okay, uh, next scene, and
Yeah.
being like loose like that in a creative way, that was definitely enough to like give you guys more like room to like like I ain't gotta be in here at all locked up, and like you know,
No, yeah. And this
nah, that's
film,
awesome, bro.
the film is pretty much it's a young married couple who the husband has a sexual addiction, but it's only to porn. It's not like to actually cheating. So physically speaking, he's not cheating on his wife, but he questions like, you know, if you caught your girl or your guy masturbating to someone, you're like, yo, like, why are you doing this? Like, am I not enough for you?
Right.
And that's what he's looking at. So it's a very like, it's a serious topic. Like we have scenes where someone's having to masturbate. It's like, oh shoot, like we gotta like be very serious. And seeing everyone when you see like that level of professionalism all at the same level with 15 people first like across the board, and you think, wow, like there are people who do this for like this only took 2 days to film. There are people who do movies that are way deeper. Like, you see a lot of movies with sex scenes and even killing scenes and all these crazy things. And you're like, they're doing this for like 30 days. They're filming like this for 30 days and they're still able to have a certain level of fun and still have that camaraderie with each other.
Not to get explicit or anything, you ain't out here. Y'all didn't have like a little session like I'm like, all right, go ahead, like
It
you
was it was definitely like it
keep it
was so
PG
we
now.
did yeah, we did this thing where we had it's called a closed set. So we have a scene where you don't see anything below, but like this guy's in the shower and you just see his arm moving. So it's to imply that he's doing it. But like we only had like 4 people inside the actual bathroom with him. It was me, Christian, who was the cinematographer, like he was the one filming it, and then we had our sound guy and our behind the scenes photo guy. And that was really more for the actor because everyone there is professional, but these are scenes where it's like, okay, you are having to get out your comfort zone, like because it's supposed to be realistic. It's not like a comedy where it's just like, oh, blah blah blah, we're going to do this. And for most of those scenes that are kind of explicit, it would be maybe 5 or less people in the actual thing, and that's the type of person I always want to be. Like, I don't want to have any actor feel uncomfortable. There are some instances where you might have an actor who doesn't want to say something, like maybe they don't feel comfortable enough to speak up to a director. Me personally, the main actor, my friend Jake, he was already like me and him have worked with each other. He's a great guy, so we already had that type of relationship. But our female actress Claire, that was my first time working with her, and I told her numerous times, like if you ever feel uncomfortable or you ever have like a certain request, like for an intense scene, like you let me know and like we'll definitely do it because we have a scene where it's kind of an argument scene that leads to her also finding out that he's doing this, like looking at porn. And she was like, "Hey, do you think we can have like a closed set for this?" And while nothing sexually is happening, that's a very intense scene where you're having like a breakdown, and it's just about trying to make that actress more comfortable.
And this actually goes on in real life too. Like
Hmm.
you ever translate that film into like real life, how like the idea of like how destroying like how like evil like how it's bad. It's just bad and
Yeah.
porn is such a like is a thing where it can destroy like a man or a woman's like mindset like inside and out like their spirit like you don't supposed to do that and it's so destructible. And you hear a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of guys a lot of like famous people like how they had addictions to this and that and they also like carry on to like their love life and stuff
Hmm.
like that. And did you ever get the idea from things like that from like reading articles or like uh just hearing stories, like just talking amongst your friends and stuff like that, your coworkers? Like, how did you get the idea of all this?
So originally, like I had told myself I wanted to film. After I did check up, I was like, okay, like next summer I'm gonna do my next film. I want to challenge myself and make it less than like 15 pages. I wanted to have it set in one location. So I was like, okay, like just to kind of make it easier because checkup was like 23 pages. Now I'm doing a film that's a little bit shorter, and then I'm only gonna have it in one location. And typically with one location, it's like, okay, you gotta do your writing a certain way to make sure that it feels like believable because we're only in one spot the whole entire time. We're in this one house, opposed to checkup where We go from a gym, a basketball court, a house, a pier, then we're going back to the gym, we're going back to the house. So it's like, okay, we have a little bit more breathing room. With this one, I gave myself those requirements. I was like, okay, it needs to be about a couple. It needs to be set in the house. It needs to be under these things. And from there, it was just kind of trying to figure out. I love horror movies, but I don't want to be constrained to only writing about one thing. And
Mhm.
Checkup was the first time I ever wrote something that wasn't horror. It was like, well, like, okay, now I'm doing something that's like about an actual relationship. It's about trying to make these characters. It's not about trying to scare someone. It's about trying to bring light to a real issue, like actual
Mhm.
brothers and relationships. And the same thing for this one. I was like, okay, well, what's something else that's kind of going on that seems to be like something that can destroy relationships? And I was like, okay, like cheating. If you cheat on someone, blah, blah, like that could be pretty messed up. And then
Mhm.
at the same time, you have all these like OnlyFans pages popping up, like Pornhub popping up, like all these different like self pleasure websites are a big thing in America right now. Like, yo, OnlyFans models are making 2 million a year doing this, and it made me think about the fact that like there's someone definitely in those subscribers who is married or has a girlfriend and is somehow still subscribed.
Definitely.
Now,
Definitely. And even if they want to, you're never gonna know unless you go
exactly,
close to these people. Like you definitely not gonna know. But you're right.
exactly. So that's where I was like, okay, well, and then I thought to myself like I had heard a few people just in different conversations, and to be honest, I think about it was a conversation my junior year at Brescia where we were all on the bus coming back from an away game, and they said they all were like, this one dude pretty much he said it's not cheating if you wear a condom if you cheat on it. So if you have a girlfriend, and yes, exactly, that's what he said. He said if he cheats on his girlfriend but he wears a condom with someone else, it's not cheating because it's not, like that he has that protective barrier. And in my head, I was like, that's crazy. That makes no sense. And that conversation led to people saying like, no, like if you do this, it's not cheating. But if you do that, it's cheating. If you do this, and I was like, okay, like I think I drew on that to write the script. I was like, all right, I want to look
Yeah,
at
that's
this
enough.
type of thing. Yeah, I was like,
That's enough to collect from that. Like, yeah,
exactly.
that's real. Like people in this world, they be thinking of stuff like that, and you be
Yeah.
like, are you okay? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how?
And
But we're
what?
gonna leave that with them because over here in our relationships,
That ain't what
mm-mm,
we doing right here. I'm like,
that ain't what we do around.
it was funny because
All right,
I'm like, really? Like, are you serious right now? It's like, no, I'm dead serious. I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy.
definitely. So, man, how can people find out about like how to watch your short films? Like, how are people able to access things like that?
So right now, I'm planning on putting checkups already on YouTube, and I have like some of the behind the scenes stuff on my Instagram. But typically, I'll be releasing all my short films, trailers, any promotional material on Instagram and YouTube. With this film Tender is the Flesh right now, the plan is to send it to some festivals, hopefully try to build up like a couple of festival wins, try to get more eyes to see it. Like, I'm from Florida, so that's like a main place where even though I'm in Kentucky right now, I would love for people in Florida to see it. And the one thing about festivals is it gives a great opportunity for you to, if you have the money and you have the time to go to the actual festival, if your thing does good in it, like maybe they accept your film as like a top five winner, you get to go there and it's pretty much like a Hollywood premiere. Like you're sitting over here, they have like behind the scenes photos, like you either walk a red carpet or wherever their type of carpet is, and you get to see your film on like an actual big TV thing, like like a movie theater, and you're like, oh, like this is crazy. Like the experience is cool, and you get to network with people. Like there's a chance you go to these
Definitely.
festivals, you meet someone else, and they're like, hey, I really like your film. Like, do you have an idea for another one? Like, I'd love to give you money to make this next one, or I'd love to introduce you to this one person who knows people who love these type of films, and like, it'd be a great chance for me to meet more people. So right now, that's the plan. Like to send it to festivals, but it will definitely be on YouTube, open for everyone to see.
Definitely. I look forward to like watching some of your short films, bro. It sounds like great. I love how you was able to break down everything because I like that. Like I never thought because I seen the first one. I was like, I'm gonna get a chance to look at it into it, and I saw a little bit of it. I never got a
Yeah.
chance to finish it, and I definitely want to. I'm interested to see what more ideas you come up with. Your creativeness, like I, you definitely cooking with something, man, bro. I definitely, bro. And speaking like cooking with something, like where did you get like who are some of your like influences like when they come into both basketball and direct like filmmaking? Like who are some people
Yeah,
you look
yeah.
up to?
For directing, I really look a lot at Quentin Tarantino. He's known for Kill Bill and Django Unchained, and I love Django Unchained. Like that
Man,
movie
that's
is
it.
that's that
That's
movie.
My grandma
Exactly.
played that.
That's all. That movie right there. I watched it for the first time during COVID, and when I was really into filmmaking, I watched it the first time during COVID, and that right when I finished it, I went all the way back and replayed it and watched it again because I was like, where have I been at? Like to miss this film? I'm like, you got Jamie Foxx killing slave owners. Like I'm like, this is the craziest thing ever. Like I loved it, and then so he's a really big influence for me in terms of like someone who I love. Like I always love watching movies. Um, Even though he's kind of new, both of these two guys are kind of new, but I feel like their movies are kind of showing like how well they are at directing. Ryan Coogler and Jordan Peele, just like the
Yeah.
success they're having. Key and Peele was like a show that I used to watch all the time. So like seeing Jordan Peele, who was for these crazy comedy skits, do like horror and be so successful with it. He's someone I like look at a lot for inspiration, especially in terms of he involves a lot of social commentary. He's looking at racism, he's looking at the problem of homelessness in America, and it's like, okay, like the fact that he's able to write these crazy good scripts, but look at these serious topics is something I really want to learn how to do better at. And Ryan Coogler, I mean, he's just having a great year. He has Black Panther, Sinners, Creed. He's kind of all over the place, and it's really interesting to see that. I think he's in his mid 30s, and it's like, okay, the fact that he's still kind of young and he's having this type of success is like, it's great. And probably last, I probably have like Martin Scorsese. I just love all his movies. Like, I love Goodfellas. I love gang movies, and he does the gang movie like no one else. So those for directing for sure. Basketball for me, in terms of who influenced me for basketball and like how I want to play or like how I would study for
We
footwork.
go Tim Duncan.
Yeah, yeah. I look at the main people I would look at would be Tim
Mhm.
Duncan. Tim Duncan and Tracy McGrady were like two of the top people because Tim Duncan, Mr. Fundamental,
Definitely.
and then Tracy McGrady. I believe that his career would be so different without injuries because everybody knows that if you know T Mac was one of them killers.
Nah, he was a killer.
Exactly. So like he was someone like in terms of footwork, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna study him because a lot of people love Kobe. R.I.P. to one of the great basketball players. A lot of people, they're like, oh yeah, I want to be like Kobe. I want to be like Kobe. I wanted to be like T Mac. Like that was just someone I looked at. I was like, T Mac would just do something. You'd be like, dang. And they both have great footwork, so you're never in the wrong to study either of them. But T Mac was someone, and I think even with me and you, how we would do our post up game at Brusha, like you could tell we had a different that was definitely what was like one of our X factors, being able to post
Definitely.
pretty much anyone up and do whatever we want. And then
Hmm.
I think a guard that I liked a lot. I really liked Stephon Marbury growing up. Like he was someone who I thought was always cool. Like he just was like a 6 foot guard who could do whatever. Especially like him and Allen Iverson. Like those two guard wise were probably like shoot like those are the people that when I finally started getting into basketball I was like okay I see what it's like when you're a 6 foot guard because you know when you got like people forget like right now, Kyrie, Steph Curry, and they're like 6'3". Curry's not really a dunker. He can shoot the ball like crazy. Kyrie, he can finish on anyone. But there's some of these players where you're like, okay, not everybody's a Russell Westbrook that can just go yam the rim on someone. Like, not everyone's a John Morant with crazy. So I'm like, okay, who are these guards that kind of set the way that like they don't necessarily have crazy balance or athleticism, but they can do other skills. And Stephon Marbury was one of them that I found. Allen Iverson, he had a crazy handle, but he was another one that I was like, okay, these are people who kind of like pioneered a smaller guard type generation.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'd say those probably like my main influence. And I mean, my favorite player of all time is LeBron. But like, I 100% think there are certain players that you can't really watch to build you. Because I'm not 6'9". I'm not 6'9", 230-pound tank. So I'm not really watching LeBron to play better basketball. Now, I definitely would watch him and hey, he can pass the ball. You're talking about his IQ? Yeah, his IQ is up
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely different. His mindset, his IQ, along with the game, is will kill you. Just like it will dominate the game alone. And then once
there. No,
he
yeah.
gets that going, it's just like hearing a lot of like videos how everybody can like narrate. Like Iman Shumpert, how he can like narrate
Keep
like
the
it
ball.
like
Keep the
play.
ball.
Yeah, like I like how he can like do that. He can like just I don't know,
It's
man. Like how
funny.
Braun breaks the game
He'd be
down.
like Tristan. He'd be like Tristan. He holding the ball. He holding the ball. Tristan, if he cut, you cut. What?
No, no.
Guys,
We say do it again, do it again.
who do it again? Say like okay like nah. If someone was to tell, if I was playing with the crazy part is I feel like out of all the times I played basketball, I've never played with someone who can even. obviously, it's weird to compare somebody to LeBron, but like, how do you at an NBA level, what do you mean he's telling players what to do on the court and they're doing it and it's somehow still working? Like on the defense, no, you're not. I'm not watching him cut in front of me. I'm not letting him do that. It's as simple as that. Like I'm like a
Like,
clothesline
who's
you
on
if you want.
ball?
Yeah, like
First of all, who's on
what?
ball? Let him do all this.
Exactly. Like I'm like, who's defending them for LeBron to be over here palming the ball, talking about if he cut, I'm passing it, and then he does cut, and you just that
You
Magic
funny, bro.
Johnson.
It's that bad, man. But all right, coming to a close, bro. So this is my favorite session right here, where I like to ask you guys, my guests on here, just some lessons and advice is what I call it, to give to the audience that's listening, somebody that's want to do, be an athlete, basketball player, or football player, baseball, whatever sport they want to do, and also choose to do like filmmaking, just like you. So here, I like to ask you, like, what advice would you give to athletes who have creative passions outside of sports?
For the athletes that have creative passions outside of sport, I would just recommend not put in enough time to know what you want to prioritize into yourself. A lot of people, I think like one of the easiest sayings we have if you're a Christian is, God, family, and then fill in the blank. You might say God, family, basketball, like God, family for me, filmmaking. Like those will always be my priorities. I'm always gonna put my faith first, family, and then whatever else is just everything else is just a matter of the icing on top. It's the cherry on top. But I feel like a lot of young athletes they get tunnel vision. They look at like, okay, my sport is my sport. I gotta stick with that. I can't have another life outside of that. I feel like I hear Mikey Williams when he was in high school saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to prom," and I'm like, "All right, not going to prom is a little crazy. Like you can take one night off and go to prom, because like
Definitely,
you can never go to prom again. You won't get to be 18 again. And I feel like if you have a creative desire to do something else, you have to look at it and say, okay, well, just because you choose to do something else doesn't mean you don't love basketball, you don't love football any less, or you don't love sport any less. It just means you're a human. You have things you care about. That's what it's all about. Like you value multiple things. There's nothing wrong with being able to value multiple things. So I definitely, if I was giving advice, just take the time to reflect on what you care about most. And if you're sitting over here saying, like, yeah, I love my sport, but I also love to do filmmaking. I also love to make music. Then who says you have to compromise to only do one? You can do as much as you want, as long as you know that you're gonna always want to have that same passion for it.
definitely. I love that. All right, my next question. What's a piece of advice you received, whether from a coach, mentor, or a filmmaker that has stuck with you throughout everything?
Ooh, I got a thing. That's a good one. I heard I heard this quote recently. It was from an actor. I know it was on like I know I saw it on YouTube or it might be on TikTok. He said, embarrassment is an underexplored emotion. So go out there and make a fool of yourself. And I think, if we were not so embarrassed or so worried about what everybody else thinks about what we're doing, we would all be flourishing so much more better. If I didn't sit over here and think like, dang, man, like I got, if I do something stupid, somebody's gonna be like, nah, like, don't be doing that. No matter what you do, whether you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, someone's gonna have something to say. Everyone's gonna have an opinion. So,
Definitely.
and that right there, like, obviously, like there are certain things like, me and you might go out somewhere and we joking around in Target. We clowning around, we having fun, but we're not embarrassed. We're with each other. There's strength in numbers. We having fun. But it's be times where you don't always have someone with you, and you have to be able to sit here and be yourself. Don't conform. And that quote right there made me think about that a lot because I'm over here in Kentucky. Like my family's not here in Kentucky. I'm at school by myself. Like I got my dog with me. I got my puppy. But like
Mhm.
it's a matter about being my own person, not being scared to go be the first person to say hello to somebody or be the first person to make a fool of myself, go out there and have fun. So like that's what I kind of took from that. And the lights coming off.
Definitely.
That's also, but no, that's
All right,
definitely something not to.
definitely. Last question, man. For someone that's back home, like you said, coming from your hometown, my hometown, where it's hard, like it is difficult coming out of the hometown. Sometimes like some guys don't want to step out of their comfort zone, and
Yeah,
that's a big thing because you got to get out of your comfort zone to know to elevate in life and also elevate in your path and the journey that you want for yourself. Like, what would you tell the one who's back home in St. Petersburg, like, to get that is afraid to step out of their comfort zone? Like, what would you tell them?
if I had to tell them we got a comfort zone, I think the main thing I would tell them is stop worrying about what your friends think. Because I think a lot of people, for me personally, I feel like there was a lot of people in high school where you're like, oh yeah, like you said, oh yeah, you'll be friends with me forever. Like we're gonna be friends long after high school. And the sad truth is, you're not gonna be friends with every single person you was friends with in high school the same way you're gonna be right now. Like yeah, you got. I think a lot of people have that one person. They're like, oh yeah, like we hung with each other every day. Like he was cool, blah blah blah. But the thing is, things change. Like you grow
Yeah.
apart from people, and it doesn't mean you lose respect. I never lose respect for anyone. But like I'm probably close. I'm just as close as I am with maybe five people in total from high school that I was the same way I am right now. Like, and those are the people that I happen to just know since middle school. We went to the same middle school, same high school, and we still rocking with each other now. And it's like those are the same people who will never judge you. Those will be the ones who got your back when you need them most. And you guys, I feel like a lot of people, and you're like, oh yeah, like that's my dog. Like, bro, he would never switch up. And it's like you saying that now, but greater men have failed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's something my mom always told me. There are plenty of people who they think that that one person is their friend, and it's like you kind of get in this high school mindset where it's like, all right, well he said he gonna go play basketball at this school, so I'm leaving because I want to go follow my friend. And it's like your friend doing what's best for him. Why are you don't need to be trying to follow what he doing. And then, because that's not your path in life. You gotta stick to your own thing. You gotta find your own morals. So that'd be like my thing. Like, don't get stuck up trying to do what your friends are doing and falling into peer pressure.
Love that, bro.
Nah,
Man,
yeah,
Daniel, thank you for tuning in, bro. Thank you for just taking time out of your day just to sit down here on this episode, bro. It's a honor, a blessed to have you here.
nah, I
I
appreciate
finally
it,
got a
brother.
chance to, I finally got a chance to get you on here, bro. It was
Yeah,
one of my, I like this episode. I like this one here, man. Guys, just tuning in. Daniel's short films, Tender in the Flesh. Checkup will be down below in the bio. I will let you guys create a link for you guys to go check that out for him. Daniel, I wish you the best on your journey, bro. Continue to keep God first, like keep him first, keep your faith first, like you said at first of all, most, and continue to allow him to lead you. I look forward to many creative things that you're going to do, and bro, the road is so big for you, bro. So just keep going, bro. Don't lose faith, bro.
nah, I appreciate you, brother. I'm for real glad we were able to connect you on this podcast. I'm glad to be a guest. I know we both
Man,
got big things coming towards us.
definitely, man. I appreciate you, man.
Love, brother.